Good morning, this is Sarah, your healthy carnivore in the UK. I have loads of things I want to chat to you about today, so it could be another long one. I don't know how I had nothing to say in the summer, but I've got so many things going around in my head now. But I'm going to start off with going to the butcher's because that's in my thumbnail. So if you found my channel because you were interested in a carnivore going to the butcher's, then let's do that first, and then I'll talk about everything else afterwards. So just quickly though, day 84. Day 84 on what I think is my strongest, most resolved stretch of carnivore. Won't be going back. Planning my short-term, medium, long-term goals that go way into the future. So I am not going back. I've got a light shining on my face today so you can see how old I am, but we can't hold it back forever, guys, can we? We can only try and minimize it, but it's coming for us. And I don't care. As long as I feel good on the inside, that is the most important thing. Going to the butcher's. Yesterday, I was thinking back to a video that I saw with Dante from Ferrigno Freedom, and he talked about getting some burgers that were really, really, really high in fat. And when he made his burgers, he made them with really, really high fat beef mince so that they would taste good. Because if you want them just with salt, you're going to have to make up for the fact that there's no other things in there. So you want it to be good quality beef, high fat. I did go online. I did find an online butcher, but once you get the minimum spend and then you've got the delivery costs on top, I thought, don't be silly. I know this online butcher is aiming for keto people and carnivore people because he says it. He's even got a write-up saying, for those people on the keto diet or the carnivore diet, and I thought, wow, I really want to support you because you are saying all the right things, but I really should go local and spend cash. So I rang up my local butcher and I said, please, could I order 2 pounds of high-fat beef mince, maybe 35%? And they said, absolutely fine. When do you want to pick it up? And I said, next Saturday. So on next Saturday, which is day 90 of my strongest, most determined ever resolved stretch, I am upping my game and buying beef from I'm so lucky. I don't think that in the US they have butcher shops like we have in the UK. I'm not sure. All I've heard of with carnivore diets is let's go to the big superstores, or let's go to a local rancher and buy half a cow or something like that. I don't know whether you have traditional kind of butcher shops like my granddad had in US, where you've got just one on the high street where it's beef everywhere, meat everywhere. Obviously these days butchers have had to kind of get a bit sort of creative with their food, because a lot of people don't want just plain meat anymore like we do, so they do have other stuff in there. I loved the old-fashioned butchers where you just had just meat, lots of pieces of chopped up animals, and you can buy them. Sound horrible? If you're a vegan watching this, unlikely, but that sounds horrible to you. It sounds like heaven to the people that are truly in touch with our proper species diet and we understand where we come from and our nature. Okay, but I think it's really exciting. And I even said this to my husband. I don't think he was as excited as me, because I think they're still waiting for me to get to that point where everything comes together and I'm walking around the house with some sexy little slinky outfit on, and then they can say, wow, you've done it now. But they're still waiting for that, and I get it and I respect it. But I think it's really fascinating and exciting how I am planning to, between days 83 and 90, up my game. I'm ready to up my game. You wouldn't believe what I had for breakfast this morning. I'm going to put a picture in now. Yep, I had a pound of 20% ground beef. There we go. That was my breakfast this morning. Did I enjoy it? Hell yeah, it was delicious. Every mouthful was delicious. If I can find a pound of plain ground beef delicious, then I am now up on the next level. That means that mediocre Sarah that I was last week has now been upgraded to an even more powerful carnivore Sarah. Right? Nothing can go wrong now. The reason I'm doing this is because in December, I don't know whether I'm starting on the 1st of December or when I break up from work, but I am doing a stretch of lion in December that will conclude on my 49th birthday on the 5th of January. I don't know whether I'm going to continue. I don't know what I'm going to be doing for the rest of January, February, March, but I will be doing Lion either from the 1st or the 18th up until my birthday, and then reevaluate and decide whether I want to continue with it. I just want to wake up on my 49th birthday feeling fantastic. Last year I did do a Lion stretch. It wasn't massively long, but the weight did really come down. Now, whether that's inflammation or fat loss, who knows? But the scales did tumble down during Lion. I know that I can look better and feel better on Lion, but until I can accept ground beef as a valid food and find it yummy, it's not going to work, because eating ribeyes constantly is not sustainable from a financial point of view. But if I can find a butcher who's going to do me the beef that I like and I love it, then a Lion diet is much more believable, acceptable, doable, and all those things. So, yep, yesterday I rang the butcher and I ordered, oh God, my hair's so scraggy. I'm starting to think it's because of the stopping and starting I've done over the last 10 years. I think all the stopping and starting has just freaked my body out. And I know the best way to stop this from happening now is just to keep going. Just keep going and never stop. And then this situation will change. Other news. Okay, moved on from the butcher story, moved on from the I'm going to be Lion story to I've got my wedding ring back on. Ta-da! Okay, I'm not going to take a photograph of it yet because my fingers are still a little bit chubby. But I did take a photograph of me back in the summer with my ring kind of hanging halfway down my finger. Let's pop it in here now. Okay, that's a picture of me unable to get my wedding ring on. Of course, the mother-in-law said, "Why haven't you got your wedding ring on?" And I just thought, do you know what? I'm just going to tell her the truth. I'm not going to skirt around the issue. I'm just going to come out and say it. She's going to hate it because she's a fat phobe. She's a fat phobic person. She maintains a very, very, very thin weight. Doesn't care about her health, but she will maintain a thin weight no matter what. Okay? If she was one of those vegans, she'd be one of those very, very emaciated, eyes sunken in skeletal ones that tries to eat as little as possible. I said to her, I've put on a lot of weight working in the old school, and it doesn't fit. And she went, oh. I thought, right, that's that done. That's that discussed. Now let's get on with our sad, pathetic existence, shall we? But yeah, it's back on. It's not a very amazing fit, but I can at least get it on. And I think in the next month or 4 to 6 weeks, it's going to be looking pretty nice on my hand. And I'll do a side-by-side photo so you can see the change in me. That's the next thing. Another thing, I just happened to be chilling out yesterday at the point when Mitch from Old Guy Carnivore suddenly went live. He suddenly went live and I joined in. And I really wanted to thank him live. So I sent him a £2, sad, right? I wanted him to call it out. I wanted him to read it out. And the only way to really get your chat noticed and hopefully read out is to send them a couple of quid, couple of pounds. And he read it out. And this is what he said.
Let me go down here and let me thank Healthy Carnivore. How you doing? Thank you, Mitch, for getting me to day 83. I've been following your progress because you have been commenting for a long time, and I'm so proud of you over there in England, United Kingdom, and I'm so happy that you're doing well. I'm tickled to death, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for the pounds.
So that was my little call out from Mitch. Okay, I had to pay him to say it. I know, very sad, but it was so much fun hearing him say it, and it just lifted me up to a whole new place for the rest of the day. So, and anything that can keep your journey going, that extra day, whatever it takes, just do it. So yeah, day 84, very happy. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the markers of metabolic health. I have 4 of them, but I just don't have the last one. I had my blood tested last August, and I have no reason to believe that it would have changed. I suppose I could go back to the doctor at some point and ask for another MOT and ask them to give me another blood test. But at that point, last August, I had the perfect HDL to triglycerides ratio. So my HDL was fine, my triglycerides were fine. Another thing was blood sugar. At that point, my blood sugar was fine. I was taking it and getting 4s every day, and I came back with no diabetes risk because of my blood sugar. And when my blood pressure was taken, that was also fine. I see no reason why that's different now, because I've been doing 84 days of strict. So even if my blood pressure had been slightly creeping up, or my blood sugar had slightly been creeping up, it's probably absolutely golden now. At some point, maybe when I get to the absolute 6-month point that old Guy Carnivore Mitch talks about as being officially in the club, I'll get all my blood work done again and see where that is. And the haters like to know what our blood work is like, don't they? They also like to see inside our colons, but I'm afraid I'm not going to let you see inside my colon. It's fine. It's operating beautifully. So yeah, the 5 measures of metabolic health. I believe at this point of sitting here, I've got 4 of them. I don't have the waist measurement. So that's the thing I'm working on now. Because the reason I'm saying this is because metabolic health is everything. You know, when I see these reports that red meat causes diabetes and red meat causes heart disease, I cringe to high heaven. I'm just head in the hands, just why are you saying that? It's almost like they don't want people to be healthy. That's not it though, right? That can't be it. No. That's silly. Of course they want everyone to be healthy. No one benefits. No one financially benefits from sick people. Silly Sarah. But the reason we want metabolic health, the reason I get cross about the red meat thing is because eating a carnivore diet puts you back into normal range on all those 5 metabolic health markers. I have lost count because I've been in this space for so long. People getting their measurements on those 5 markers of metabolic health: waist measurement, blood pressure, blood sugar, triglycerides and HDL, and the ratio between the triglycerides and the HDL. The carnivore diet fixes all 5 of those things very quickly. Of course, some people, it takes a little bit longer to get the waist measurement down, but the other 4 things get sorted out really quick because the body's thinking, I'm going to fix the most dodgiest of those things first, then I'm going to get to work on the waist measurement, and so on. Health before weight loss. Always going to be that way, even if it's annoying. And I just thought, I looked up how many people are metabolically healthy in the US, and the estimate is 12.2%. So I took a screenshot of that. 12.2% of American people metabolically healthy, which means that 12.2% of people, and I think they know these figures because in America they do tend to test people more frequently. In the UK, we only go to the doctor if we've got something wrong with us. So if you don't have anything obviously wrong with you, you can go for years and years without ever having a blood test or your blood pressure taken or whatever. And people in the UK don't tend to have that done regularly until they're after 50 and things have started to fall apart on them and they've gone to seed. But in America, they're obviously plotting that information, and they've worked out that 12.2% of people are metabolically healthy. That's not a lot. I then looked up UK. We are slightly better, but we are kind of following. Wherever the US goes, the UK follows. So whatever the US is doing now, we're going to be doing it 10, 20, 30 years later. And the estimate, they said that's hard to estimate, and I think that's just because we don't do regular blood tests so much. And the estimate was that 75% of us are metabolically unhealthy, so that puts us at 25%. So yeah, So US 12.2% people are healthy. In the UK, 25% of people estimated to be healthy. Right? I'm sitting here in the car thinking I'm 80% there. If I went to the doctors tomorrow and provided I was calm and they didn't try and inject something in my arm and put my blood pressure up, I'd be guessing that if I was nice and calm, perfect blood pressure, perfect blood sugar, perfect HDL, perfect triglycerides, I believe. I have no reason to believe that's not the case. More than happy, though, at 6 months to get that tested to prove it to you. And I need to have a certain waist measurement. Well, it depends where you want to measure your waist. If it's on the narrowest part, I'm about 3 inches out. If it's on where they tell you to put the tape measure, I'm about 5 inches out. So I've got some work to do. And there's only one way to do that, the long way. There's no magic wand coming for me. But I cannot wait. I cannot wait to do that video when I say, do you know what? I'm part of that very, very, very small people who are healthy, completely healthy. Doctor cannot find a single thing wrong with me. And do you know how I did that? The carnivore diet. I dread to think. I know my journey has been bumpy and scenic. But let's imagine for a minute that I'd not done anything. That I hadn't changed a thing. I just lived like my mum for the last 10 years and not attempted to take care of myself at all. Okay, so let's put a picture of me up here when I was 10 years ago before I found the carnivore lifestyle, right? 40-inch waist, broken, not sleeping, probably had high blood sugar, but I wasn't testing it at that stage in my life, okay? Now let's imagine what I'd be now if I had decided to take my mum's path and done nothing. Can you imagine the weight I'd be now? I can't imagine that because I was an ex-slimming consultant, so always a little bit interested in my weight. So the thought of abandoning myself for the last 10 years, probably not going to happen. But what weight would I be? What metabolic markers would I have? Blood pressure off the roof, off the scale. Blood sugar, taken the roof off. Probably on metformin. Triglycerides through the roof, doctor panicking, and probably on a statin because I didn't know any better, because I was taking the route my mum took. Probably very, very, very likely to have had breast cancer by now. Definitely would have serious thyroid problems by now. Probably had one of those thyroid problems that we hear about regularly. There are so many. Hashimoto's, you name it. I hear about it on a daily basis with women of my age. Nearly everyone I know has got a thyroid problem. Everyone's cold. I'd probably have double, triple the amount of skin tags. And I'd probably be, if I'd carried on where I was going, 50 to 100 pounds more than I am now. So this is how I keep myself grounded. I think, what would I do had I not done anything? Where would I be if 84 days ago I'd done nothing? You're doing fantastically well. You are winning. You are doing this. You are... Just the fact that you know about those metabolic markers, Sarah. Just the fact that you know about the carnivore diet, Sarah. This is going to work out really well for you. You've got your... I'm motivating myself now. I'm going to watch this back later, and I'm now talking to myself. You've got that 30% beef meat that's coming next week. The burgers are going to be fantastic because Dante from Perigno Freedom said so. If I really like them, I'm going to make up the order, and then do some lying. Yeah. I also owe an apology to a channel. I do owe an apology. I probably left it too late. I should have done this at the beginning. I probably should do a whole video on this apology. Carnivore Soldier. Just got interrupted by my son ringing me. He wants me to cook him some bacon. See? My kids are obsessed with meat. just want to offer this apology to the carnivore soldier. I am really, really sorry for two reasons. One, I don't know your name. I obviously don't watch your channel enough, and that's why I made a mistake with one of my comments. He was talking about losing weight, and I was quite rude, actually. So I do owe this person an apology. I have messaged an apology to them because I've said about how women don't lose weight like men do. And he's basically replied, false, false. And he's right. It is false. Because he said, I know men that don't lose weight and that women lose it fast. So that is false information he's just given me. So I stand corrected. I stand corrected. There are men too that don't lose weight. So moving forwards, there will be no further man bashing, because there are men too that struggle with the weight loss. I stand corrected, and I always am somebody who stands corrected. Always. Always. The second I realise I've done something wrong, straight out there with apology. If I've done something wrong, I do not have slopey shoulders. I'm not, he did that, she did that. It's like, I did that. That was me. And I am so sorry. Genuinely messed up there. Okay. So, yes. So that's the end of the video, I think, because my son now wants me to go and cook him something. He's gone to a car event and he wants to come back to some bacon. So I've promised him I'm going to do that for him. So I'm going to go. Anything else that I'd thought about talking about, I'll add it to my tomorrow video on day 85. I'm excited about 85 because that is the day that Kerry interviewed Dante for the first time. And he was jumping up and down that he got to day 85. So I'm going to jump up and down because I got to day 85. Look out for that tomorrow. And if there's anything else I want to talk about, I'll tap it onto my excited bunny hop, jumping up and down. Look at me, I'm as good as Kerry video. I'm mad. You enjoy your day. And see you tomorrow on day 85. And thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.